You be careful, man. Spirits be with you, man.
How you doing, man? Lita. What you want?
Don't be shy. Good to meet ya. How are you? Be good.
Who you be? Be seeing ya.
looking for? May your blades never dull.
Have I got a deal for you? Hey, that's it! I got mouth to feed, pal! I letting that coin burst for you?
Heaven is the sweet road that you wanna fight. She would even miss you with you taught aside. Power politician leaning to the right. Levy's got a twist on that you wanna go off like that. Get off of my style. Leave a little window. Get off of my style. Now we wear some color yellow uniforms. Sky is burning, but at least you know it won't. Going on yourself a million miles. Open up the colors, so now then you go off like that. Get off of my style. Leave a little window. Get off of my style. You can never see yourself ringing all around it. You can never see yourself ringing all around it. You can never see yourself ringing all around it. You can never see yourself ringing all around it. You can never see yourself ringing all around it. You can never see yourself ringing all around it. No one. No one. You lay back. You lay back. Sugar. Not another day off. Get off of my style. Leave a little window. Get off of my style. You know you can do. Get off of my style. Style.
King's honor, friend.
The floor. My hat is an animal, and once there was an animal. It had a son that mowed the lawn. The son was an okay guy. They had a pet dragonfly. The dragonfly ran away, but it came back with a story
Light bless
to
you.
say.
Dalston, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, just playing the Blood Elf Paladin. I think I'm gonna do the battle for Azeroth. Hopefully, if I can get back out to Zandalar. I've never done the battle for Azeroth on the Horde, so it's totally new. Where is everybody? Yeah, nobody likes to watch me stream anymore. I think they just like to watch me when I was doing hardcore WoW or something. You about to try Paladin on Final Fantasy 14? That's what I play. That's what I play on Final Fantasy 14 is awesome. And it's like, whatever. The quests are cool. The combat, once again, I don't really like the combat in Final Fantasy 14. So we need to get to Zandalar. Unless this Zandalar, this is probably where we need to go. I played it. I played the Paladin at level 50, and it was okay. That's about all I can really say. But the one thing with Final Fantasy is that, you know, like Einbei used to say, I mean, that first, you know, A Realm Reborn, which is the first content, to get through that's the hardest part, because that's like probably the most like sluggish. And then once you get into the next expansion, I guess, which is really the first expansion, it's supposed to get better, and then after that, the next expansion gets better, so like each subsequent expansion supposedly gets better. So at least that's what they say, you know. I never got I got very close to getting through the Realm Reborn content, but I just kind of was like, I just don't like the combat, you know. I don't really like the combat. I actually don't, Rich, you know. Is it Richard or is it Ricard? Ricard? Yeah, I normally play Alliance, so I'm forcing myself to play Horde just because I've never really done it that much. So I'm just forcing myself to do something I haven't really done before. I've never done these quests. I've never done Battle for Azeroth content from the side of the Horde. I've only ever done it as an Alliance. So we're just gonna see how it goes, I guess. So I'm pretty lost, you know. I don't really know the quests. I don't know where to go. As you can see, even right now, I feel kind of lost. Like, where am I going? Guess I needed to interact with the map. Yeah. Maybe I need to go this way? I really don't know where I need to go. Yeah, I think I need to go up. I'm trying to get to these question marks on the map here. I don't know why the map's kind of like that.
Be you predator or prey?
I serve the king.
You made this mess, my prophet. Now go clean it up. As you will it, it will be so. Only, I have foreseen that Voljamba will not die by my hand. Then take our new speaker with you and be done with it. Ah, yes. They have proven themselves useful.
Well, good luck, Zolson, with Final Fantasy. I hope you do like it. I think you might struggle with it, but we'll see.
Take all your chances while you can. Never know when they'll pass you by. Like a sun, the mathematician cannot.
Oops, I missed my jump. Kind of missed my jump there.
Like me, trying my hardest to explain. It's all about your crossing kisses, those first steps that I can't calculate. I need some more of you to take me over.
Talk to me.
Take me
Glad I could help.
over. If I had
You
the
will never
chance to
find a
start
better deal.
again, then you would be the one I'd come
Please, come again.
and find. Like the poster of Berlin on my wall. Maybe there's a chance our walls might fall.
What's up? Right back.
It's all about your crossing kisses, those first steps that I can't calculate. I need some more of you to take me over.
Is that really the phone? You can find Head General down at the other end of the terrace. Be sure to insult
Go for the pally. I want to get to max level on the Paladin, and then I want to, but at level 45, I want to start doing the quest to unlock the allied race, one of the allied races, because I've never unlocked the allied races on the Horde, so I would like to do that. Yeah, I've never done it, so yeah, it's got to be further down. How do I... Can't get comfortable with Horde. Yeah, well, I've never really played the Horde much, so...
Greetings.
I'm in the wrong area. Yeah, I never really played the Horde a lot, so we'll see. I'm very used to the Alliance. There's so much stuff in WoW I haven't done anymore, because once... You know, I pretty much quit playing WoW at a certain point, and then... I pretty much quit playing WoW, like, you know, for me, and went in just, like, around 2014, I think. And then, you know, I mean, I came back and played each expansion a little bit. Like, you know, they'd come out with a new expansion, I'd play it for, like, a week or a day. And so I don't really remember any of the quests for hardly any of the expansions after Burning Crusade. Well, really, after Wrath of the Lich King, I guess. But I especially don't know them on the Horde.
You want to soar with the swords? May parkour spy your enemies before they spy you. I will call out the best spot, and you can have the honor of tossing down a sentry totem. Years back, this whole land shook during the cataclysm. Our northern That was when we got our first taste of real blood magic. Not that petty nonsense practiced by the lesser tribes. Our defenses grow weaker. Princess
Any
Talanji
pugs?
has been asking for more troops.
I did a dungeon already.
Has not acted fast enough,
I did a
and she
dungeon
has
at level
turned
10,
to the
and I
Horde.
tanked it up, and it was alright. Luckily, I had a group of people who knew the dungeon, because I didn't, and they kind of pointed the right direction to go. So I kind of had to, you know, ask people, say, hey, I've
Not a
never
week
tanked this
goes
before.
by that we do not see some Zandalari turning to blood magics learned from those heretics in Nazmir. Something feels different. I will leave you with Lottie. Let her know the cause of all this trouble may lie within Zanchul itself.
Yeah, but I'll be doing dungeons at a certain point for sure.
The Loa be strong here. May you ever find the tracks of your enemies. Choose your Loa wisely.
How do I shoe? Pterodactyl hatchling shoe.
Fly with Paku.
You thinking getting back to WoW was old school, Paladin? Yeah, I mean, I love, classic WoW. I mean, I love the vanilla WoW more than any other version of the game. But I just don't like how the people are playing the game. I don't like all the boosting and stuff. So, what's this? Ranged weapon? So, it's just, I don't really enjoy Burning Crusade Classic that much. And I didn't really, I mean, Classic, and just regular Classic was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't, like, bad. I mean, I enjoyed it, but definitely didn't enjoy Burning Crusade Classic as much as I enjoyed Classic. Classic had more hype going around it, and people were just really, they were really into it. And then people tried to cut, once Burning Crusade Classic came out, it was all about everybody trying to cut corners, and I wasn't too happy with that. I don't like cutting corners.
Praise the Lower of Kings. Like my loa always says, duck.
Thought I was gonna sneeze. I thought I was gonna sneeze.
May the winds of war be ever in your favor.
May the odds ever in your favor. Fan down here. Yeah, Zalson. Hey, Zalson, if you're still there, if you wanted to play Final Fantasy together sometime, you know, just, I don't know, do some questing with on a level 1 character, I'd be up for that. Who am I supposed to kill? Because I don't see them. Guardian of the Rights slain. How do I go up?
Oh, hello there. Lot of monsters out there.
Oh crap. Where is this guy? He's up above me. How do I go up? I need to go up. Up, up, up we go, hobbits! To the tunnel. How do I go up? Blue, I already forgot how to go up. I know I was up there. How do I get up there? That's the guy I need to kill, but he's way up top. I don't like this game. I don't like this zone. I have no idea how to navigate these maps, man. This is one of the biggest reasons why I don't play Horde, is because whenever I do, I'm just lost. Absolutely lost. And it's no fun being lost. How do I go up? How the fuck do I go up? The dumbest layout.
I serve Gonk, master of shapes.
Oops. Wrong key, but wrong key bind.
You are still not allowed to mention my sister.
Ever walk on the wild side? Never. Gonk, master of ships and lord of the hunt.
I
is
serve
a powerful
Haku,
lord.
one of the
He
oldest.
can grant you access to his many totems throughout the city that will increase your speed just by being near them.
Sure, if you like running, if you want to soar. See Paku, Loa of Winds. Her
Is
totems
that
are
really
fewer,
the form
but
you
provide
choose to
flying
walk
shortcuts
around in?
throughout the city.
Excellent. You chose wisely. Come, ride with me to meet your patron.
I just picked a patron. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was like, oh, okay. I have no idea what patron I picked. Gonk, Lord of the Pack, is my patron, apparently. You just took off. I can't fly, girl. I don't know why you think I'm just gonna go flying over. go to?
It's too late for us now. We've gone. It's gone now. It's true. We've gone too far. Warm hearts, cold hearts now. Yeah, we couldn't be more perfect, but maybe we'll fade in
Greetings, rich man.
could go where we started. We'll float
When you're not so big and strong now, eh? Go, my man. Go and find the rat man who tore you to kill my cat. Fight him and earn your rich man home again. Like I always say, one man's trash, you'll be dead again. Beware of spiders by the torso. I may be the cause of sickness, but yes, the mistress of spies. She wants to keep her scattered pest within my domain. Always on the nature.
It's gone now.
Weird quest.
Feel so. You'll be dead again. A trash pile just appears to keep your stuff. Why you may wanna get more stuff.
This is like the dumbest. This is like the dumbest quest. What's up, Tony? This quest is so stupid.
Greetings, rich man.
As a demon hunter? Cool. I don't want to do all these dumb quests. This quest is so stupid. I don't like quests where you're not in control. Like I don't like quests where the like stuff like this where it's like run over here and
Silly sorry. You'll be dead again.
I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch.
Silly sorry. You'll be dead again.
It's not balanced, yeah.
Silly sorry. You'll be dead again.
Yeah, modern WoW quests are stupid. This is dumb. Like, oh, avoid the spiders, avoid the guy, you know, it's like I don't even care. It's like there's no reason to do this quest. I don't even know why I'm doing it. And I'm trying to quit the quest, but it won't let me. It literally won't let me quit the quest.
Silly sorry. You'll be
Stupid. There's just like no incentive. Like retail, wow, it's like every time I try to play it, I just don't enjoy it, you know? I don't enjoy retail WoW. It's like person doing the I think it was not that there's really anything majorly wrong with retail WoW. I mean, like if you've never played retail WoW before, you probably would enjoy it.
I am listening.
Yeah, they're just wasting time. There's no real, I don't know. You have 60 characters with the end game stuff. The end game is horrendous. Just gear after gear, yeah. I've always thought that the gear grind itself was kind of an outdated mechanic. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of this seems like a lot of the zones out here are predicated or set up on the idea that you have flying. You know what I mean? I don't have flying. I can't fly. You know? Like, can't fly, people. Yeah, I've always thought that the gear grind was kind of fun at the beginning, but now because they throw gear at you like insanely, like just all the time, and the fact that you could even start playing WoW with like heirlooms and stuff, it kind of defeats the whole grind. You know, it defeats that sense of satisfaction of getting something. You're like I'm already starting out with like, you know, gear that's like stronger than a lot of the gear that, you know, I'm gonna get, you know, through the beginning areas. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I mean, I couldn't get off the cliff there because I couldn't fly. I don't have flying. Now here I am in the water, like fighting, you know, fighting fish. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. How you doing, Blue? just feels weird. It always seems cool. Like when you start playing like certain things, like the cutscenes and stuff are always kind of enjoyable. But then you get to a certain point, this doesn't feel cool anymore. Here's the, I know what I'm looking for here. Yeah, it doesn't feel very, um, it doesn't feel good, that's for sure. It was interesting because I actually, this happens to me all the time where I think of mechanics and MMOs and I think of something that's a really good idea and I'm like, oh man, I need to write that down because that's a really cool idea, and then I don't, and then I regret it. There was something I thought of the other day, and I'm really, really angry that I can't think of it right now. Because it was something that we do in MMOs all the time, and I had thought of not necessarily a better way to manage it, but just something else. And I can't remember what it was. I always like to save those notes, right? We have MMO concepts to consider, right? And, you can see here I've taken notes on communities, economy. This is a really good list of things that you have to think about when you're creating an MMO, right? And I've got a pretty extensive list here that I've gleaned, from different articles on the web and just different things I've thought of. But there was something, and I cannot remember what it was. It's really driving me crazy. I think it was around community or guilds. I can't remember what it was. It's gonna be one of those things that's gonna be like a splinter in my brain, driving me mad over the next like 3 or 4 days, probably. Yeah, I don't like add-ons. I think an MMO shouldn't have any add-ons at all. I think the game should be designed in such a way that you have everything you need to play the game. I think add-ons are really necessitate bad behavior. They also necessitate just more chores because like there's so many different versions of World of Warcraft, and every single version, like the add-ons have to be a specific version, and it just creates this whole like chore of having to either save your setup for each different version you're playing or download the right add-ons every single time. It's just annoying. It's kind of messy. And same thing with like Skyrim, where you're trying to have the right add-ons, and to me it's like, just get rid of that. We don't need the add-ons. Just build the game to have what you need to play the game. Make sure that the UI is customizable, resizable. Make sure that maybe there's a built-in damage meter because people seem to love damage meters. I don't really necessarily need one. They are useful in certain ways, but and then just maybe some other things. Make sure that you're the basic stuff. Make sure that if you go to a vendor, you should sell all the junk automatically. Make sure that if you can repair your gear, you should have an option to do it. It sounds like an airplane just flew right up past my window. It wasn't, it was a car, but it sounded like an airplane. But make sure you have the option to automatically repair if you want whenever you talk to a vendor, stuff like that. But yeah, you can tell that this zone just feels like they expect me to be able to fly, and unfortunately, I can't fly. And I think one of the things that kind of sucks is I wanted to play on this server because this is a really good server for Horde, but I don't have any money. I have like 50 gold, and so even if I wanted to get flying, when I get high enough level, I probably won't be able to afford it. Damn it, I did not want to fall off there. Yeah. Well, I think it'll be cool, you know, to have something that's entirely new, you know, like something fresh, obviously. Wish I could remember what that was, that MMO concept I was thinking of, and I'm sure it came up when I was watching probably one of the developer streams for Pantheon, and there was something that just struck me. I know we talk a lot about AI. I mean, they're talking about like mob behavior, um, and it's gonna piss me off. So Elden Ring. Yeah, I don't know. I keep trying to play retail WoW, and I fall. I'm getting to the point where I feel like I'm just falling asleep. I'm so bored, you know. It all looks good. It starts out good. You like create a character. It's like, wow, look, blood elves look pretty cool. When you get some transmog gear going, you're like, wow, my character looks cool. Wow, look at these combat animations. They look nice, you know. Ooh, they're so flashy. Look at that. Ooh, you know, and you're. But after a few minutes, you're like, there's no. You just don't feel like there's anything you're really. There's no goal you're striving towards that feels easily obtainable. Like if you're a new person and you've never played World of Warcraft and you were going to come into World of Warcraft as a brand new player of World of Warcraft, you would be completely overwhelmed. You wouldn't know what to do. And then when you did know what to do, you wouldn't want to do it because it would take too much time. You're like, okay, I want you to spend, you know, 16 hours leveling to max level. Then I want you to do all this and spend another 16 hours. Then I want you to grind this rep for like 2 or 3 days. Then I want you to grind this rep for 2 days. Oh, you want to unlock this and grind that out for another week. It's just, you know, grind after, you know, and there's really no super great reward, you know. And you're doing all of it almost solo. You're not really doing it with other players. You know, it's like a solo game, you know. It's just very boring, repetitive type content. So it's very disheartening. You know, it's very disheartening. Ah, great. Hit the wrong keybind again. I love hitting lay on hands when I don't mean to. Yeah. I can't do it, man. I just can't play retail. It's just too freaking boring, man. It's just too boring. Just nothing there. There's no meat to it. There's no, no, there's just nothing there. Second. Oh, we can't.
Video. Which one should I watch? Should I watch number 1 or number 2? The second one?
Last week, I said that Heaven's Ward had made it to my number 2 of all-time favorite RPG stories. And I put in the comments, it's like, if you want to have a spoiler talk about this, let me know, because I don't usually like putting spoiler content on the channel, but this stuff is years old.
Crap, where's my knife? Damn it, I'm right back.
Let's have a little conversation about it. So I wanted...
I'm gonna, like, I've not seen, like, all of the stories in Final Fantasy, but, like, I thought the A Realm Reborn story was just as good as Heaven's Ward. Heaven's Ward was much more, there was a lot more Hollywood Michael Bay explosions. But I actually thought that it was just as good. I am super fucking excited to do especially Shadowbringers. Because I see so many pictures. There's so many fucking thumbnails of X reacts to Shadowbringers and they are crying. You know, like, that's the thing is, and also Stormblood too. Like, that's the next one that I'm at. Yeah, I really, really love it. I've cried like 1,000.
Isn't it funny, Blue? The transplant streamers. You know, you got Preach, who looks like he's losing weight too, and you've got Bellular Gaming. Both did hair transplants. You've got Asmongold here, who 100% I guarantee you will be probably doing transplants because he's even said he's thought about it. You know, it's just so funny. We got this, we're growing up in this, I don't want to say growing up because I'm 51 years old, but man, it's like people today are growing up in this world. Look at the room it preaches in. It's really bizarre. It almost looks like he's in a garage or something. His room looks very manufactured. Notice this back wall is like curved. See that? And it's just a very weird room, you know? Yeah, Bellular he had some hair transplants done as well. Yeah, he was out for a while. You know, he was out for a couple days streaming because of that. And we're at this time where we've got all these streamers that people are watching streamers on YouTube or whatever, if you're into games, right? And we're growing up, we're seeing all these streamers that were young, and then they're growing up and they're losing their hair, getting fat, you know. It's just this, you know, streaming is still a fairly new medium. It like really didn't become mainstream until probably about, you know, 10 years ago. You know, maybe even not even that long ago if you think about it, right? Like you think you know, Cataclysm WoW was what, like 2012 or something, or maybe that was Wrath. You know, streaming wasn't really huge until probably about 2012-ish, maybe. That's only 10 years ago. So I guess that is 10 years ago. So, but it's still pretty new, and we're seeing all these people, you know, what's going to happen? Because you can't stream forever. At least you probably couldn't, but some of these guys probably don't need to stream forever, right? I mean, Asmongold now, he's to the point now where his channel's so big and that so many people watch his videos that all he has to do is do these react videos every day. He gets online, he's like, yeah, I'll do a react video on this, and I'll do a react video on that, and I'll do a react video on that, I'm done. And then I'll just play games all night long. I mean, how difficult is his life? His life is so easy, right? And he talks about the stressfulness of trying to be in front of the camera and all that, but you don't get into that bullshit. You know, his life is so easy. He spent the majority of his life playing video games, right? You know, I've been married, been divorced, I have a kid, paid child support, I'm remarried. My wife just had a freaking heart attack like, you know, 3 weeks ago. I mean, he had, you know, his mom died, you know, whoop-de fucking do. I mean, my father's died. I've got 2 brothers that have died. You know what I mean? This is part of life, right? But this guy never has worked. I mean, the hardest job he's ever worked was, what did he work at? Like, I think he worked at like Sam's Club or something. I'm just jealous. I say it because I'm jealous. Because I wish I could wake up, do a bunch of React videos, and play video games all day. How nice would that be, right? The amount of money these guys rake in, like Preach Gaming, Asmongold, even someone like Cargos is pulling in some pretty good money. These guys are making a lot of money, and it's just going to be interesting to see where streaming goes. Like how it affects these people. Like, are they going to stream until they're really old? Are they just going to save up their money and become these really wealthy people that just sit around playing video games? I'm just really curious to see where it all goes. Yeah, I think that stress, Blue, I think it really comes from you. I think you yourself have to manage that, and you have to know when you need to take a break. And there's certain people that have quit streaming because they didn't know how to manage it, and it's usually the younger people, like that one guy who like what's his name, killed himself, Reckful, and then his friend quit streaming altogether afterwards because he just couldn't take it anymore. Well, he was young and dumb, and young, dumb, and full of cum. These kids, they grow up, they don't know how to manage this kind of stuff. They don't know how to know when to take a break or even how to take a break. They feel like they're so insecure. You're not a very secure person when you're in your 20s. I'm sorry. Most people don't have that kind of resilience or that kind of self-security, you know what I mean, to really understand how to manage stress, how to manage work, how to manage life. That's something you learn as you get older. I was lucky in that I always had older siblings. So I never was really that stressed growing up because if I ever had questions about women, I'd ask my sister. If I ever had questions about women, I'd ask my older brother Joe. I had people there. If I had questions about college or I had questions about how do I go about, anything. How do I go about getting my first driver's license? Can you teach me how to drive a car? How do I go about, you know, I don't know, just anything. You know what I mean? Anything in life that comes up, you have to sue somebody or get a lawyer, whatever. There's always someone in my family I could go to just ask. Some people don't have that, but it's all part of growing up and adulting. People like to say, but a lot of these streamers have never really faced that kind of responsibility because if they started streaming when they were really young and got really popular and made a lot of money, they've never really done any kind of serious, you know, being a grown up and being married, having kids. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. Well, I'm not reviewing Asmongold reviewing Preach. I just threw this up while I was trying to think of a different game to play, Craig. This was not me saying, "Oh, I'm going to sit here and do a review of a review." That wasn't it at all. I actually just threw this up as a kind of a time filler because I'm trying to think of what game I want to play right now, and honestly, I can't think of a game to play right now because all the MMOs I've played are just boring me to death. But when it's reviewing the vid content of a vid content, reviewing the original vid content, when does it end? Yeah, and it's gotten really big. React, videos are cancer. I mean, you can YouTube this stuff too. Where the reaction to reaction to reactions. Um, the one thing, the one thing that's funny is I early on I really didn't like Asmongold that much. I just thought he was kind of a trashy white guy, wasn't very smart, lived in a really dirty apartment and never took care of himself. But he actually, the more I've watched his videos, and I don't watch him gameplay games because I don't really watch anybody play games, not unless I'm trying to learn something. But I do watch his video when he's talking about topics that I care about. So if he puts out a video where he's saying like New World failed big time, he was just watching Kira TV's video, right? So this is Asmongold reacting to Kira TV's video, and of course Kira TV's kind of a big baby. I don't really like the guy. He always cries and moans and complains about everything. He's always, this game sucks and that game sucks. Although I do that too. I do that too, but I think I come from years and years of playing games. I'm a lot older than these people, so I get a pass. Yeah, I mean most of the MMOs, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of Kira TV. I think he's a pessimistic. I think he's a sex addict. He's done videos with S&M stuff that he had in the videos. And then he pulled those videos. If you guys didn't know, he pulled those videos. Those videos aren't on his channel anymore. So he's kind of a creepy dude. And then he said he survived some sort of rare blood disease or something, which is fine. Whatever. I guess he did. Everybody has problems, right? But I made a nice comment on one of his videos early on when he was real new and he didn't have but like 10,000 subs, and he made some rude comment back to me, and after that I was like, man, you're just a jerk, But yeah, I'm not a big fan of this guy, really not. I like actually Asmongold. I like Asmongold because he's down to earth. Asmongold is down to earth. The only thing I didn't like about Asmongold is I just wish the guy would take better care of himself. He just does not take care of himself at all. He's gonna end up in the grave from cancer and shit. The guy said here he did a video the other day where I was watching him talking about just the state of MMOs, and he was talking about how if he drinks water and eats healthy food he gets sick, and then he was trying to justify that eating garbage food is better for his body, and I'm like, dude, no, eating garbage food is not better for your body. The reason you're getting sick from eating healthy food is because your body's never processed healthy food. It's not used to it. It's like if you guys are sitting at home and during the summer when you're like 12 or 14 years old, right? 14 years old, you're home for summer, you're eating your mom's cooking, your mom cooks, you get a chicken, pretty healthy food, American diet if you're an American, chicken, potatoes, corn, whatever. And then you go to high school. High school starts, you go in, and then you start eating the high school food in the cafeteria. It's that shitty square pizza and God knows what else, Salisbury steak, whatever. And then you get the shits, man. Next thing you know, like halfway through the school day, you have to go to the bathroom and take, and you get the shits. Basically, you blow out. It's because your body's not used to that crappy, greasy, processed food. Well, Asmongold's body's just used to all that greasy, crappy, processed foods. Of course, if he eats something that's not like that, of course he's gonna feel sick. It's because his body's not used to it. But those types of videos, and you never know. I mean, a lot of times with streamers, you never know if they're being honest or not. You never know if they're being upfront. You never know if what they say. You have to take everything with a grain of salt, right? But I'm not a big fan of Kira just because he's always trying to bash people, and just he's not very positive. The one thing that when I first started playing World of Warcraft and I started streaming it is I did it because I loved the game. Like I loved World of Warcraft. Like when I first started playing private servers for the first time, I was having a blast. It brought back all those fond memories of when I played it back in 2004, and I had a blast, and so you could see that in those videos. You could see like how happy I was and how I was just having a good time. And I don't really have that good of a time anymore playing MMOs, and so I think now when I stream, I come across as being maybe a little bitchy and a little bit sad, but that's just because that's how I feel. I feel sad that we don't have good MMOs out there right now. I feel sad that the most popular MMOs that are out there right now are games that were all made like 8, 10, 12 years ago. We have not had one single MMO release in the past 8 years that's been able to break the top 5, right? I mean, maybe what's that one MMO that's coming over from Asia that everybody keeps talking about? That's going to be pretty big, but I don't understand that game either, to be honest. I mean, I can talk about this for hours, but if you look at where is it? If you look at Asmongold's video, I think there's that one game that's coming. It's where is it? Lost Ark.
Nowadays with MMO.
So Lost Ark's coming. It's going to release here in the U.S., and I think Amazon Games is publishing Lost Ark, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the rating pee in a bottle eat crap, Yeah, a lot of these streamers are going to have a lot of health problems. The ones that don't take care of themselves, the ones that aren't getting proper sleep, the ones that are not taking care of their bodies as far as like their hands, their eyes. They're going to have a lot of bad vision issues. You're going to have a lot of people who are going to have a lot of, especially I feel really sorry for the hardcore FPSers, the people that like have played Overwatch just crazy religious, because unless you're doing the proper exercises, man, you're going to seriously cause some damage to your hands. You're going to cause some damage to your forearms. I do a lot of stretching exercises on both of my arms all the time because, I played tennis for years and years. I was a big tennis player. I played tennis tournaments. I won tennis tournaments. I play guitar. I'm a computer programmer, so I'm on the computer all day, every day typing. And I have a lot of pain in both hands. But I'm always doing like, stretching exercises, and I'm taking hot baths and soaking my arms and, and trying to do things I can to alleviate the pain. And I know that, as I get older, I'm going to have a lot of pain. And I already have a ton of pain in my right elbow and my right shoulder from tendonitis from years and years of tennis. And but a lot of these guys, I don't think they even try to take care of themselves, So we're also going to see that people using cell phones and mobile devices You know, and we're already starting to see kids with arthritis, like really early, stages of arthritis in their hands from using cell phones just constantly. Especially the girls who get on there and type like their fingers, like they're Mr. Fantastic, from the Fantastic Four, and they're typing like on their cell phones, like in lightning speed, and just absolutely ruining their hands. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see the impact of all of the digital age, of all these devices and stuff, and gaming, and and everything, and what that's gonna, what's gonna happen. And there was that big like movement, the no work movement, where people were saying, there's like 1.5 million people or something. It was on the news the other day about the Reddit group where there people are saying we don't want to work and we shouldn't have to work, and this is like the whole no work. And I think Asmongold did a video on that too. But yeah, I do like Asmongold because I think he talks about stuff that I'm interested in. Like some of his videos like this, like How Do Your World Fail? I literally just streamed through and watched like a couple minutes. No, didn't really like it. Why I play World of Warcraft? I mean, I didn't even have to. I watched a little bit of this video, but I didn't really have to watch too much because it's obvious. He plays World of Warcraft because he likes the game. But what was really interesting is when he talked about why he plays World of Warcraft is the same reason I play MMOs. The reason I play MMOs is they're very relaxing. They're very. I enjoy fantasy. I love fantasy. I love reading fantasy novels. I love the process of character progression, of making my character overcome challenges and having like memorable events during the lifetime of my character. I love being in a fantastical world that exists outside of the crappy world that we live in the real world, because the real world we live in sucks. Let's be honest, it sucks. I mean, hey, what's up, Craig? Thanks, man. But I mean, who we don't like the world we live in. The real world sucks, right? We have to get up, we have to go to work. I mean, I have to get up and write code all day long, and then basically go, wait, hang out with my wife a little bit, eat dinner, play a few video games, and go to bed, then rinse and repeat. That's not what I want to do. And I don't think, and 80% of the people that have jobs aren't doing jobs that they want to do. If you said if you could do anything in your life that you want to do, would you be doing this? I think it's like 8 out of 10 people are going to say no, right? So, but I mean, Asmongold was talking, why does he play World of Warcraft? And a lot of his answers were the same answers that I would say. It's just because it's relaxing. It's something that makes me calm. It's something that's fun. It's something where I feel like I can get away from the real world, which is full of crap and shit that we don't want to deal with, to be honest. Those are the reasons I play, fantasy MMOs, because they're fun. You can't find a fantastical world that's in these games, that it's in fantasy novels in the real world. It's not like I'm going to walk outside my door here and see a red dragon flying by. I mean, that would be cool as shit, wouldn't it? But it's not going to happen, But if we start talking about, like all the streamers and like where they're going to go, like where is media going to go? Like where are jobs going to go? Like, and we're already starting to see that people growing up are saying, I would rather be a big streamer or a famous person than an astronaut or a police officer or a famous, athlete or something or whatever. You know what I mean? Used to be, if you asked a kid in 8th grade or 7th grade, what do you want to be when you grow up? The answer would be something like, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be I want to be maybe a tennis player, a famous tennis player, or maybe I want to be a fireman or a cop. Those aren't the answers kids are given nowadays. Kids are saying, I want to be a big game streamer. I want to be maybe a movie star. You know what I mean? It'd be cool. Yeah, no, exactly, Blue. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it would be super deadly. But that's part of what makes it so cool, right? Well, part of what makes the Red Dragon cool is that, it makes you. It's kind of like if you watch the show Dexter, and he talks about how he can never feel he doesn't have any emotions, and he goes through all of his life with really no emotions. But then the one time when he almost gets caught by the cops, his heart starts beating faster. He's like, oh, and then it's like an emotion he never has experienced, and it breathes new life into him. It's the same thing with the red dragon flying by. You get scared shitless. It's certainly going to make you feel alive. And I think when you're playing a video game, you want those scary moments in the video game to happen that scare you. That's why hardcore WoW kind of took off and was so fun, because you spend hours and hours trying to level up your character, and then you get in these situations where you drop down to 4, 5, 6 health, and your heart's just beating, but you're still trying to stay alive, and you're running. But I mean, to coin FPS Doug, but I mean, you feel alive in that moment because you don't want to die. It's a big deal. It's like I just spent 3 days leveling this character, and I dropped down to 2 or 3 health. My heart was about ready to come out of my chest, those are the kind of the things you want to feel. And and of course, we look down the road and where MMOs are going to go. A lot of people point to VR, but VR just isn't. It isn't there yet, and for so many reasons. VR just is not there. There's not enough of an interface, I think, that makes like when you control a character in like a combat action based game like Black Desert. Like there's a really good feeling of controlling the character, doing the quick movements, gliding around the battlefield, right? You don't get that when you're playing VR. When you're playing VR and you're swinging a sword in a VR game against another person swinging a sword, you don't have that same sense of fluidity. Most of VRs, they're just not there yet. They just haven't gotten to that point. And even if you did, I don't want to be doing first. I mean, I know first person. A lot of people think that's really cool, but I love third person because I want to see my avatar. I want to see what I look like, right? Now, the ability to switch back and forth between first person and third person is something we're all going to want, right? But I think we're just too far away right now. The best VR set right now is about 60. I think it's about $8,000 actually for this one VR setup that's actually really good. But I haven't seen an example of it, so I don't know what it looks like. But we're just not there yet. And then we talk, well, what's the next big innovation that could really make MMOs great again? Because the problem is everybody knows the formula. Everybody knows MMO quests. We kill some monsters, kill some bosses, get some gear, upgrade, and then somehow there's systems in place that enhance our gear. Maybe we got gems that we can sock in our gear. Maybe we have enchants. Maybe we craft better gear. Maybe we get gear that drops from bosses and monsters, whatever. In a game like that one game where you kill the monsters, it's kind of like Monster Hunter, where you kill the monsters and then you use the teeth and the bones and whatever falls off of the monster's body to craft your own armor, and all those types of ways of gear progression. But I think gear progression is a tired system and an old system, and one that we need to get away from. I mean, I think gear is something that should always be in an MMO, but I don't think it should be the end all progression. There should be so many other ways to progress your character that gives you a sense of accomplishment. And I think that, to me personally, what is the big thing that's going to come down the pipe and come down the road that's going to make MMOs feel new and refreshing? To me, there's two really big things that are really obvious. One of them is AI. And when I'm talking about AI, we have to think about AI. AI is not, like, artificial intelligence is just a bunch of if-then statements, right? You think about from a coding point of view, like, because I'm a software developer, I write code every day. I mean, you think about artificial intelligence for like inside of a video game, it's really just a bunch of if-then else statements. It's like, if this person maybe runs at me, what am I going to do? What is the AI going to do? Well, it's going to do whatever you coded it to do. What kind of machine learning are you going to build in there, though? That's going to be the interesting part, is how can you really make the AI react and learn based on what the person's doing? That's going to be really interesting. But to me, AI is a big deal, because what happens if you're in, like, let's say you're in Elwyn Forest and you're walking to Stormwind, and let's say it's nighttime. And let's say a big group of trolls come, or orcs or trolls, NPCs come running out of the woods and attack your character as you're walking towards the gates of Stormwind. Well, the AI of the Stormwind guards say, "Oh my God, we got to come to the aid of this person. They're being attacked by by orcs or trolls." So then the guards come charging out the front gate to you to help you, to aid you. And then what happens if you even have the ability to maybe issue commands to those Stormwind troops, like, "Hey, can you get this guy off me, or maybe can you tank up, or or maybe you can throw me some, maybe you could shout out, 'I need healing,'" and maybe one of the Stormwind guards would be like a cleric or something and heal you. And then what would happen if you came to another village in an MMO, and the village people told you, "Hey, be careful when you're traveling at night through the dead forest, because we've seen a lot of trolls attacking travelers." And what happens if you go through the dead forest at night and you get attacked by trolls, and you fight them off? You go back to the town, and then maybe the town says, "You know what? We're going to hire you to kind of go out at night and try to kill those trolls." And then when you do go out there, if you do successfully defeat the trolls, then the next time you go out at night, maybe a week later, the trolls go back to their camp, which is off in the mountains somewhere, and they recruit more trolls. So the next time they attack you on the road, they attack with not 5 trolls, but 15 trolls. So that's just an instance of a learned kind of AI behavior. But it's those types of events and those types of, reaction and reaction by the NPCs of the game based with, and also, in tandem with the town NPC, the good NPCs, those types of interactions, to me, are what's going to make an MMO really kind of separate itself from what we have right now. To me, it's not going to be the players, because in my mind, the weakest part of an MMO right now is the players. The weakest part of MMOs right now is how the players are approaching the MMO, how the players are playing the MMO. We need to break the player's mentality out of where it is right now. We need to stop, stop the trying to cheat the system, stop the trying to boost people, stop trying to look for any way that they can basically find shortcuts to get to the end. Well, make sure that the end is not one singular end. Like, oh, we're just gearing up, and we're trying to get to the final dungeon as fast as we can with the best gear and kill everything, and then we got the best gear and game over. Don't make that be how it works. You have to have other things that are much more difficult, that require community and require interaction and require discovery and effort by the player, right? And the other big challenge is to create a game such that once someone figures out how to do something, that they can't just tell everybody else how to do it and then everybody could just repeat it. It's kind of like in the movie Ready Player One, when no one could finish the race. No one could win the race because it was too difficult, until he figured out to drive his car backwards. Well, once he figured that out and someone saw that he did it that way, then it was easy for the next person just to drive their car backwards. We need to somehow find a way in MMOs that kind of replicated behavior, can't be done, or can't be, what's the word? Can't be, what's the word? Can't be, I want to say exposed, but obviously not exposed, but it can't be, the word's right on my tongue. You can't basically just use that over and over and make it so easy for everybody else. And one of the things that really kills MMOs is websites where people just Google it, say, well, how do I do this? You go to a website, or you go to YouTube and you watch a video. So if there's a way we could somehow come up with a world that evolves, right? So let's say one person figures out how to, and then my example of the forest raid by trolls was actually a pretty good one, because someone could say, well, we went to this town, they told us to help them with this group of trolls, and we went out there and we killed them. You could tell the next player in the game, oh yeah, it was 5 trolls, and if you're at such and such level, you should be able to handle it. But what happens if the trolls, after a week, right, a week of real world time, decide to go back for reinforcements, and increase their difficulty of the horde of the trolls, and then the amount of trolls, so that the next player goes to town and they say, yeah, these trolls are raiding this, and they go out there thinking there's going to be 5 trolls, but there's not 5 trolls. There's 15 trolls. Maybe there's 15 trolls, and maybe there's a rock troll. Maybe there's 15 trolls and a wyvern. Maybe there's 15 trolls and a freaking Tarask. If you guys know what a Dungeons and Dragons Tarask is, it's kind of a meme. But we need to somehow come up with MMOs that are alive and growing and built upon AI in such a way that everything just can't be repeatable in such an easy fashion. And there has to be other things in the game that doesn't have anything to do with gear, doesn't have anything to do with combat. Let's say that magic, when you first come into the game and you want to be a magic user, it's all based on where you start. Like if you start in this one area, you only know the magic that's maybe trained by the magic guild in your area, right? So whatever spells they know, and it's a very small set of spells. Maybe you grow up in a very wintry, region that's very cold, and so the spells maybe revolve around creating fire, or maybe revolve around, steam, or, I don't know, stuff that would be very useful in those types of elements. But then when you go into a deserty region, you're like, well, I don't really need a spell that conjures fire, Maybe I'm getting attacked by a fire elemental in a fiery zone, and my fireball isn't going to do much good. He's going to laugh at me, but I don't know how to cast an ice bolt. I don't know how to cast a water jet or something, because, I didn't learn that. And so part of the game would be you would have to explore and find other regions of the world where you could maybe learn new spells from somebody else, but you would have to go through some sort of introduction, some sort of a faction that's specific to you only and only to you. It's not like someone can say, well, I went to this town and this magic user taught me, Frostbolt. It wouldn't work that way. You would have to find the right person, and you would have to do the same, like maybe quests or same sort of things. But my idea around that is that you would have to dynamically spawn the person in different locations, and you have to dynamically, try to do some different types of quests. So just for example, like let's say there's one quest that says go to this mountain and you know, or go out here, find this cave troll, you kill him, and he happens to drop a really nice sword. Then you go to the next player and you say, hey, I went to this town. They gave me a quest to kill this troll in this mountain, and I got this really great sword. So you can do that. Well, guess what? You go to that town and you talk to that same person. He doesn't give you that quest, you know, because it's not guaranteed. He may give you a different quest. He may not give you a quest at all. So we have to build the systems in such a way that that's the way it works. It shouldn't be a guaranteed automatic, you know, every time. And then even if he did give you the quest, maybe there's 30 different locations that the troll could be at, right? So if one person said, well, I go here, and he says go to the Ash Mountains and kill this troll. Well, when you talk to him, he says, no, you need to go to this swamp and find such and such person, and he'll give you a clue on how to find maybe this troll. And then, you know, so you set it up so there's all these steps, and maybe there's 30 possible steps at step 1, there's 30 possible different steps at step 2, and there's 30 possible different results at step 3. And if you mix and match those, the amount of combinations are so much greater that it's going to be a lot more difficult for people just to be like, oh, this is how you do that quest. You could say, well, this is how it worked for me, but the chance it's going to work that way for you is very small. You know, that's another way we could go with creating these new MMOs that makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more challenging. But as far as like community, my wife's yelling about something. Anyways, I'm going to end the stream here in a second because I got to go check in on my wife. But yeah, I just think, you know, there's a lot of things we do. But as far as community, there were some thoughts I had on community the other day that were really good, and they slipped out of my brain. And I'm going to try to rack my brain and see if I can remember what those were. But I'm going to come back and stream here in a minute. But I got to figure out something to play. I don't know what. I don't know what. I'll rack my brain. But I'll be back in about, I don't know, 30 minutes. I'll catch you guys then. Peace out.